Growing up, the only building blocks I had was Lego, Mega Blocks, and like dollar store bricks that barely worked, and I was fine with that as a dumb kid. But as a dumb adult, I've become disgusted with the current state of Lego. While the brand has always been expensive for what it is, in the last few years it almost feels like a designer toy brand. And even sets I think look cool are so expensive that I couldn't possibly justify buying them. But in the last few years, the market has exploded with alternative brands, including the subject of today's video, Lumibricks, which used to be called Funhole, which I'm glad they changed that. This video is in fact sponsored by Lumibricks, and they generously sent me 2 sets to take a look at. Quite honestly, I haven't built a building block set in a long time, so I was super excited about this opportunity, because just look at these things, man. They look incredible. And Lumibricks has a ton of interesting themes. Not only do they have familiar looking ideas like modular buildings, shout out to this toy store set that's so sick, but they also have pretty cool themes like the Old West, steampunk, and street fusion. The 2 sets Lumibricks sent me were the Izakaya and floating train station sets from their cyberpunk line. You can actually get both of these sets bundled together with a discount, by the way. I didn't even know that, I just chose 2 random sets. But if you like the look of these, $270 is kind of a crazy value, especially compared to the other brand. And I should mention that the whole gimmick of Lumibricks is that the sets can light up, which makes any set you buy look dazzling. I think this is a really cool idea, and the way Lumibricks has integrated lights into these sets is very clever. But before we really dig into the sets, I will say that even though I'm sponsored, I'm going to give my honest feedback on these sets. And I hope you'll notice that even though this is a sponsored video, I still think there are areas where these products could improve. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It'll help me against an evil greater than stepping on a plastic brick while barefoot, algorithm. So to be honest, it's been a long time since I built a building brick set. Even as a kid, I mostly had Bionicle, so I didn't even build normal Lego sets all that often. So getting these 2 gigantic Lumibrick sets felt a little daunting, I can't lie. The boxes are filled to the brim with numbered baggies, and in total, I had to read 5 thick books of instructions to build both sets. Building was generally pleasant for me. The instructions were clear, and they sometimes add overhead angles to help. I think these sets are definitely more complex than the average Lego set, so those extra diagrams really helped a fella like me. Along with the bags of regular bricks, you also get the orange box. Not that one, this one. And this box holds all the wiring elements for the lights. This was definitely the most intimidating part of the build to me, because I incorrectly assumed that there would just be bricks that lit up or something. Nah man, they have you in these Lumibrick sets like a whole electrician. And I do have to admit I was so confused at first by the wires and how to place them throughout the set, but the more I did it, the more comfortable I became with the process. The scariest ones to me were these little electronic parts that I had to stick onto specialized bricks. But even then I got used to those. And I feel like doing the wiring made me feel a bit smarter than I actually am, like doing one of those STEM science kits. One huge positive for these sets is the lack of stickers. I guess that electronic component was kind of a sticker, but I mean decorative stickers. There are none. Everything is printed, which is so nice. I could not believe my eyes when I saw that $1,000 Death Star Lego set has an entire sheet of stickers. For a set that costs $1,000, that should be a crime. And considering Lumibricks is much cheaper compared to Lego, it should be obvious that Lego is just being greedy at this point, which is not surprising considering they have such a grip on the toy market, but Lumibricks is showing that they can make super cool sets that are cheaper and have no stickers, and they're bringing the competition that Lego really needs right now. Companies only get this greedy when they have no competition, and I do think Lumibricks is one of the most competent of their competitors. It's really impressive to me how they make the wiring start from the bottom of the set, and it moves up through the buildings while also keeping the set super modular. Sections and levels can be removed easily with no wiring stopping you. The orange box also comes with some tweezers for smaller wiring, a screwdriver for the battery box, and a USB to USB-C cable to connect the battery box to the set. The battery box needs 3 AA batteries, by the way. I will say neither of the included cables seemed to work for me, which is kind of bizarre. It had me worried at first because I thought I messed up the wiring somehow, but no, once I used my personal phone cable, the set lit up perfectly. There were a few other issues. For example, on the cyberpunk Izakaya set, one of the clear tubes was misshapen, so it couldn't slide through a brick as intended. Thankfully, this is a building brick set, so I was able to just slightly customize it to make the tube sit in the correct area, but that was kind of annoying. I also feel like the colors in the manual are kind of rough. Like, I really struggle to tell the difference between dark gray and black, and sometimes I'd be searching for the wrong piece because I thought they were a different color. While those problems were a little bit annoying, I think overall I had a great time building these sets, and learning to do the wiring for them was an unexpected but fun challenge. The look of these sets really does blow me away. I can't believe how cool they look, and with the lights they look extraordinary. I also really like that they are fully enclosed buildings. It really adds to the look of them, and I love just rotating a set and looking at it from every angle. I built Izakaya first, and it depicts what looks like a Japanese city street with a bunch of food options, the largest being this restaurant, which has an apartment on the second floor. Matter of fact, let's take a tour of Izakaya while we're here. Alright, here's the absolutely gorgeous Izakaya set here in all its glory. Not lit up yet, we'll light it up in a second, but I did want to show you guys what it looks like just with no lights going. And I still think it looks awesome. Like, it looks like a really cool, you know, piece to have displayed somewhere. You know, you got the little restaurant here. There's quite a few restaurants. It's like a restaurant block, basically. Let's just turn on the lights and really show you guys what the cool part of this set is. There we go. Got the lights going. Looking real nice. Love that. The lights just make the set feel so much more alive so fast. Now let's start with this little octopus guy here. We got a little restaurant going. This is like a automated restaurant. There's like a robot in there. There's a robot on the sewer grate. I think these are meant to be robots, little robots. This is a cyberpunk set, but it doesn't really feel super cyberpunky. Definitely feels more Japanese influence. Like, there's robots and stuff, but it doesn't feel crazy cyberpunk like the other set. But yeah, this brick-built squid is really cool looking. I love that it's like all lit up here. It's got one of these glowing pieces of just clear plastic, bendy plastic. We have another one of those up here. I did feel like they're a little bit too long. Like, if you look at it, it's like kind of got a lot of room there, and that's because it's just a bit too long, so it has to bend awkwardly. But it's so cool, man. Like, just look at this. This looks cinematic, doesn't it? The squid lighting up this character. Also, Lumibricks does have these little characters, their own special minifigs, basically. I don't love the look of these guys, to be quite honest. They're a little bit dumpy and dorky looking, which is fine, but they also don't have like particular functions. Like, they can't sit in chairs properly. They don't have like connectors on their legs to sit in chairs, which I just think is a big feature missing, and I just don't like how they look, to be honest. Something you can actually do with this part of the set is move it, or remove it technically. Grab it, and you can disconnect it. And as you can see here, it's got this little electronic component, and when it touches this part of the set, that's when the lights start to activate and stuff. So obviously removing it got rid of the lights, but removing it does give us a chance to look at the set a little bit closer and more in depth. So this part right here is the first thing you actually build once you start building the proper set. This is like a ramen vending machine, I think. That's kind of why I think it is. And then there's this little sitting area right here. You can remove the canopy and get a better look. You can have someone sit down here. Again, their legs can't connect, so they can't properly sit down. There is a little play feature here with this vending machine. You can take one of these ramen packets, and there's a little hole in the back here. And if you just put it in the hole, it'll slide on down, so that's fun. It's cute. And this is the main part of the build. This is the biggest part, took the longest for me. This is a restaurant here that has like an apartment on top as well as a little roof section. So let's just go through. We have sort of this outside seating area where people can sit down and get some ramen or, you know, some sort of food over here. We've got an entrance here with some double doors. You can actually close these up if you want to. So you can close them or you can leave them open. I leave them open. We also have like a sliding door thing going on right here. You can see inside there. And on the side here, we can actually remove the wall. so we can get a way better look inside. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a menu going on inside. We've got some tables with food. We've got the bar area with the cook. And you can also remove this wall to get an even better look of the kitchen here. We got the cook working on some salmon, it looks like. Washer here, you know, all the amenities, all the amenities required. And if you see here, there is some wire poking out, mostly because I was bad when I was building this set. This was the first set I built, so I wasn't great at the wiring. But you can see wires here. And if you look right there, there's a pretty obvious black and white wire. This is partially due to me being bad at it. Partially it feels like sometimes the wire length is a bit too long, too short, I don't know. But sometimes it doesn't feel exacting. Now we can also remove the roof, but before we do that, let's take a look at the apartment, because if we remove the roof, then all the lights are going to turn off, and I want to look at the apartment with the lights on. Once again, we can remove a wall here, and we can see inside this little apartment complex thing. Got another sliding door dealio. This is like a table with a jewel and some money. The guy looks crazy. Kind of crazy looking guy. But just a really nice, like, sort of Japanese apartment vibe. It's got a tree that's sort of poking out of the window here, and obviously we got a really cool neon sign. I love the lights. Oh, especially this light that's like blinking a bunch of different colors. I just love that. I'm such a sucker for an RGB, you know, neon light. I also really love this lamp we have going here. Here's an outside sort of patio going on, and then at the very top we have like this spire with a glowing green pillar. Oh, and we also have some lights coming through here, lighting it up. Looks really good. Like it looks lit up so well. It just builds a really cool illusion that, like, these guys are paying for electricity. They keep the lights on, and there are people really cooking in here. We can look inside here much better. Unfortunately, when you do this, you know, if you want to mess around with this separately, the lights don't turn on. So kind of unfortunate, but I guess that's what they had to do to make it work. But yeah, it looks like a vibe in here. I would definitely get dinner over here. So yeah, the Izakaya set is absolutely magnificent. Absolutely love the look and vibe of everything going on here. It's really cool. While Izakaya feels more just like a high-tech Japanese street corner, the floating train station really brings the cyberpunk vibes. This set was more challenging and even bigger than Izakaya, but man, it was so worth it. So let's take a look at this futuristic train station. Alright, here it is, the floating train station. And golly gee whiz, this thing is huge, man. It is so big. Here's a can of soda next to it. Quite a bit taller, obviously, than a can of soda. Now, this thing is massive. It took me a couple days to build, like just full non-stop building, like 8 hours of building, if not more, to make this thing a reality. Though, to be fair, I'm incredibly slow at building. Like, I am such a slow builder. Ooh, this popped out of place. I just want to show you guys the set without the lights first, as I did with the other one, just to show you not only how good it looks without the lights, but how dazzling it gets when the lights are actually on. The whole point of this set, obviously, is the train station. This whole entire structure is meant to be a train station, with the train here, obviously. It's kind of a small train. It can only fit 4 people overall. Let's go ahead and turn on the lights. Okay, I turned off the lights to make it a little bit more exciting, but let's go ahead and turn on these lights. Golly, is that not so cool, man? Like I know I'm sponsored, I know it's a sponsored thing, but how's that not so sick? I am such a sucker for this sort of stuff, like bright lights. Look at this thing. So this is like one lights up and then the other lights up. It's supposed to give the illusion of a, you know, moving character a little bit. I think it doesn't work that great, unfortunately. Just because the outline of the one in front kind of obfuscates the one in the back. If you look, that's how it works. So I do think that this effect is really cool. I love the idea. It just doesn't feel like it works 100% of the way, but I do appreciate it. And we have the ice cream cone here. Very nice little ice cream cone thing. This part is one of my favorites. This is I don't know, like a stopping barrier for the train. But I just love how chaotic the colors are. It just flashes really rainbow colors for seemingly no reason, but I love it. We got some lights here for the train, some nice red lights going on. And then the interior of the set is lit up. Oh, I just realized this part didn't light up. What the freaking heck? Let me see if I can fix that. So obviously there you go. There's one small issue that didn't happen before, and I haven't like taken the set apart, so I'm kind of confused by that one. But I think the just connective bricks were not connecting all the way there for a second, but I literally just oh crap. Oh no. Well, since we're doing this, since I'm taking this off, we might as well look on the interior here. So you can take off the lid and look all the way down. It's kind of like maintenance stuff inside here. It doesn't really look like I don't know. It doesn't really look like a place where people are meant to be, especially when you consider this area right here is where people are meant to wait for the train. I think this stuff up here is more like technical operations sort of stuff going on. Turn it around, and there are some nice vignette doors here, so you can kind of get a better look at what's going on. So you can see all that. It looks really cool. And then there's a couple more doors we can open up here. See inside there. You can open up this like ticket office here, and then you can look inside. So I like that they enclosed everything. I also like that they give you the ability to open the setup a lot and like play around in there if you want to. Okay, and I've gotten the top to properly light up. I just reconnected those pieces. I don't know, maybe it was just leaning this way a little bit away from the piece it connects to. A little bit of an issue, but honestly, I didn't have to do anything. I just took it off and put it back on again, so not a big deal in my opinion, but it's up to you whether you think that's a big deal or not. But I do like this blinking little light we have up here. We got like a radar dish going on. We've got one of these tubes. Again, this tube felt a bit too long. If you look here, it's like bent a little bit inward and then a little bit too much outward. It's not as like snug as I think it should be. And then this one also has a facade. You can open a little door, and oh my god, what is wrong with this guy's face, man? But as you can see, there's a little control operation here with tons of computer monitors and stuff, which looks pretty cool. I like this room. And I really love how stuff lights up on the inside and you can look in from the window. I think that's just so interesting. Like, Lego sets are kind of shrouded in darkness within the diorama or whatever. So having like actual lights, like as if there's proper electricity running throughout the building, is just so cool. Oh yeah, one last thing about the floating train station. It just has this removable bathroom, and you can just see in there. That's fun. It would have been funnier if they had like lit it up like it had its own electronic sort of lighting system going on. Get some RGBs in the toilet. And they also added in this really cool mirror. It's two pieces, two mirror pieces, and you just put them in the circle, and it's really interesting. It was kind of tough to do, but it's a really interesting building element for this type of toy. Like, I've never seen a mirror or something like this in one of these sets. Okay, so we should show off the best part of these sets, in my opinion, the coolest functionality, which is the fact that you can connect these two sets. They go together like this, and boom. This is so magnificent looking. Like, I know exactly where I'm going to put these sets. I'm going to put them at the top of my shelf there, because they are so dazzling. Like, I love the lights, man. And the two different vibes are really cool, too. Like I've said previously, I think this set is way more Japanese influenced than, like, cyberpunk. Like, there is some stuff, but not as strongly as this one. And having these two vibes next to each other is really cool. And it connects so seamlessly. Like, look, it just looks like the same city street or something. Yeah, I love this effect, this whole trick they're doing with the lights and stuff. I think it's really clever and cool. I think it just gives you like a really truly interesting product, and you could definitely have a lot of fun with these. These Lumibricks sets are incredibly fun. While I found the building intimidating at first, I overall had an enjoyable and relaxing time working through both of the sets. And the inclusion of the wiring for lighting was an interesting challenge. I do think these sets are more suited for AFOLs. I just feel like the complexity and wiring could be a bit much for kids, but I'm sure there are some Rugrats that would enjoy the challenge as well. Overall, building a cyberpunk city has never been more affordable and more fun. Thank you to Lumibricks for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.